Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It is Monday, September 9th, 2019, 51 degrees outside. Tommy Gloff, your morning mayor, in the house. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing. The inventor of the hood ornament is in Vancouver, British Columbia. How you doing, man?
Well, I had to rent one of those, storage spaces for all the hood ornaments. I mean,
I know.
can't even I can't afford to polish anymore. It's ridiculous.
Well, you made big bucks on them, and you got out just in time because made your money and sold out. What a guy!
Right. They're all gone.
They're all gone. Coming up at the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to give away some tickets to J. Owen House, the Authentic Illusionist. That'll be Saturday, September 14th. One show only at 7 o'clock at Brick Breeden, and you can get tickets at brickbreeden.com. But if you'd like to get some free ones, you can get them here. Why not?
Very good.
$39 value. That's what they are, man. That's what you get.
I know I can call in faster than anyone, right?
That's
right. I
right.
should be able to win them. I don't get paid anything.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you should be able to win them. Yeah.
Oh, and then I have to come down there.
You'd have to come down. We'd have to have another night with you, and I don't know if we can afford that or not.
You don't have enough raffle tickets.
We're still paying on last month's. Well, yeah, we're going to give away 2 sets of tickets at 7 o'clock. One way is you can win with our app chat, and the app chat's right next to the listen button on your smartphone, and all you have to do is text us the word tiger, Tiger,
Wow.
tiger, because J. Owen House has a tiger, and you'll see that if you're a winner. And
Wow.
you get, these are pretty good seats. They're right behind the floor seats in the first section. So you'll be up close, and you'll be able to see quite well all the illusions and everything that he does. And the 7 o'clock
I
hour.
have to wear my cheaters when I go.
Well, yeah, you would. And we'll have to give away 2 by phone, as we normally do, 522-TALK. And we'll do that at the 7 o'clock hour. We're going to do that for the next 3 or 4 days. So we're going to have a lot of tickets for J. Owen House. And we're going to give away 1 set of backstage passes on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. That'll be on the phone, so everybody can participate in that. But we're going to give away 2 sets on the app chat. Just go to app chat on your smartphone and text the word tiger to us. That'll put you in the drawing for today's tickets, and we will be rocking and rolling. So go for it.
There
Yeah,
you go.
should be fun. Well, in our weather today, rain mainly before 10 a.m., and you're probably driving to work in the rain right now or wherever you're going, or it's raining. It was raining when I came in this morning, so we're looking for a high of only 66 degrees, and chance of precip is 90%. So it's going to rain today, I think. You can pretty well plan on it. It's going to be wet.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, right. 50% chance of rain, mainly before 1 a.m. tonight, and then mostly cloudy, then becoming clear toward daybreak. Low around 44, pretty chilly for us this time of year. And but winds and everything will be light and variable and whatever. So Tuesday, a slight chance of rain between 9 and 1, then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after 1 o'clock. Partly sunny, again, high near 64, unseasonably cool for us. And chance of precip is 60% on Tuesday. Tuesday night, showers and possibly a thunderstorm before 10 o'clock, then rain mainly after. And 46 will be the overnight low. Chance of precip on Tuesday night, 80%. So we got rain in the forecast. Wednesday, rain again, mainly before 1 p.m., then showers possible and a thunderstorm after. High of 57. That's pretty low for us. 57 for a high. 90% chance of rain on Wednesday. And Wednesday night also.
90% chance of rain and 10% chance of snow.
That's right. Yeah, rain and possibly a thunderstorm before 1, then a chance of rain after 1, and chance of precip Wednesday night, 90% again. And then on Thursday, chance of rain mainly before 7 a.m., then mostly sunny with a high near 66. And Thursday night, the rain will end. It should be mostly clear and a low of 43. And then Friday, it starts to be a nice weekend for us. Sunny with a high near 72 Friday night, overnight low 47. Chance of rain on Saturday, but partly sunny, 71. And on Saturday night, a chance of rain, mostly sunny with a high around 46. So there's your weather for the next few days. Temperatures around the area right now, 53 degrees in Livingston, Manhattan's 53, Three Forks 55, and Gallup Gateway is 50. Ennis is 52, Big Sky is 43, and at the airport of Belgrade right now it's 53 degrees, and we are right at 51 here in our lavishly appointed studios in downtown Bozeman, Montana, 12 minutes after the hour on Monday, September 9th, 2019. Our poll question from Friday, did you have a good childhood? 42% of you said yes, great family. And only 9%, or 27% rather, said no, a dysfunctional family. 24% said, well, somewhat, both good and bad. So that's good. That most people did have a pretty good childhood, and I'm glad of that, certainly. And let's see, what are we doing today? What's your favorite season today? I figure since we're going into the winter season, spring, fall, summer, winter, what do you like? And so far, it's a three-way tie between spring and fall and other, which is the KMMS Morning Show Vacation. So there you are. That's my favorite season.
I was concerned when I saw other, like,
yeah.
Oh, maybe they're talking about, like in space. Is that no season in space, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, we are going to take a vacation in September. We're going to be off the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So, you'll be treated to some other talk radio of some kind or other. So we're not good enough for a best of. So, that's can't do that. Right?
Well, yeah, because everyone would be listening.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But I don't know.
When does sweeps end?
Sweeps ends, it starts this Thursday the 12th, and it ends, I think, the Thursday before Thanksgiving, or right before Thanksgiving, somewhere in there. So
it goes till November.
Yeah, it goes from September to November.
Okay.
So we've got some time in there to grow the show.
There you go.
All right. And speaking
and then that'll be a year, right? Like, and then it'll be a year.
Yeah, 27th of November will be a year.
Yeah.
We'll be sitting here a year. Also, speaking of growing the show, we're at 1,464 downloads, only 36 away from 1,500 downloads of our shows, Shane. I never thought we would get anywhere close to that, but we certainly are getting them. So we're happy.
You are known as a half glass full guy.
I'm
a full glass guy.
I'm a full glass guy too. Yeah, half full at least. So, all right. Let's see. This day in history, 1850, California became the 31st state of the Union, and we've been
numbers are
downhill ever since.
That's right. The numbers for California are fascinating, but the early history you're going to love. Here we are, 39.5 million people. Wow, that's bigger than Canada. Anyway,
yeah.
Median household across the state. Now, remember that we hear these all the time, these number median, $72,000. Officially, language is English, 58%, Spanish, 28%. And the interesting aspect of the economy, as far as like numbers, is it grows. Their GDP is over $3 trillion. Which is quite remarkable when you take into account, the populous regions of the country. I mean, the surrounding area of San Francisco is around 18.7 million, and around LA is 9.7 million. And it's interesting too because it's got, if it were its own, with $3 trillion, as it'd be the largest subnational economy, like fifth largest in the world,
Mm.
which that's pretty impressive, right?
That is impressive, yeah.
New York has got a pretty significant go there. But anyway, the reason that I say this is that the birth of California in 1850 was part of a compromise, and it was a compromise because of the end of the American Mexican War, as we know, and like the lower half of California was originally part of Mexico, and you guys took it from Mexico, but it's part of that treaty.
Yes, we did.
So as we talked right off the bat, Polk took Texas and annexed it because he didn't want to have an issue there. And the compromise was to diffuse a political confrontation between the slave and free states. Now, this is 10 years before your Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So on the status of territories acquired in the Mexican-American War, Texas's western and northern borders included provisions addressing fugitive slaves, as did California. So, whoa, don't want to know this one. And slave trade. The compromise was brokered by the Whig Senator Henry Clay, very famous guy, and Democratic Senator Stephen Douglas, with the support of President Millard Fillmore. And the compromise were these states, they could not sell slavery, but they could not or be involved in slave trade, and they had to return fugitive slaves. So there you go. That's sort of an interesting aspect of California on this day.
All right. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these important words. Stay tuned. 23 minutes before the hour, or after the hour of 6 a.m., I should say, Monday, September 9th, 2019. Shane Matobin on the line, half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eagle, your morning mayor. This is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Coming up 7 o'clock hour, we're going to give away some tickets to Jay Owen House, so stay tuned for that. And we're also going to give away 2 tickets on the app chat. So all you need to do is go over to your smartphone. App chat is right next to the listen button. And text us the word Tiger, Tiger, and you'll be in the drawing today. We'll announce we'll call the winners of the app chat after 9 o'clock. So if you don't win the tickets at 7, you can still get in on the and win with the app chat. So get over and do that as well. So let's see. From our text line, you do know talking about Sweeps Week on air can easily nullify the station from reporting of the numbers. No fall numbers translates to diminish ad buys. Well, I don't care. Talk to people who care about your numbers as much as they care about your stream. Okay, well, our stream is $25,000 a month, so
there you go.
There you are. Oh, let's see. Let's go with Catherine anniversary of the Battle of Teutoburg Forest. 9-9. The battle lasted 3 days and destroyed the 17th, 18th, and 19th legions and divided Europe at the Rhine. Armenia's defeated the Romans beginning on 999. That was the.
Wow.
Okay, well, it's just a repeat then. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Said it twice in case I guess I missed it the first time. So.
Okay.
What can I tell you? All right, there we go. Okay, let's see. 1926, the National Broadcasting Company was incorporated by the Radio Corporation of America. RCA became NBC.
That's right. And RCA's parent company was originally General Electric.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1932, after the acquisition of NBC, GE was forced to sell RCA and NBC as a result of antitrust charges. Sort of interesting when you think of what's going on today with YouTube and, Amazon and Facebook and everything. It's very similar to what went on back then, but I digress. The important thing is that General Electric, of course, ended up buying back, NBC. And then, of course, they also did the deal with Bill Gates and formed MSNBC. So it's been quite a long road. But interesting about both is that, NBC and GE are two of the oldest corporations, in the United States, almost 100 years ago. And they're still here today. So, in the context of surviving, that's pretty cool stuff. It's been here a long time. We know what's been famous on both. As far as success, I mean, General Electric, it still is generating vast amount of money from patents that it got from the Great One back in the late 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
And today, it's NBC's run by Jeff Zucker, and of course, everybody on the right likes to pound on him.
Yeah.
It's just it's an interesting political and corporate, relationship you see with these two companies. So there you go.
1948, the People's Democratic Republic of Korea, North Korea, was created, and there's nothing the people can do. It's not democratic, and it's hardly a republic. So, as a lot of people know, I guess if you just name it something, it's just fine. And everybody will say, oh, it's the People's Democratic Republic. Oh, okay. Well, what's their problem?
Well, this is such a weird situation, only because of its northern border. Very narrow. It's on a peninsula, the entire, North and South Korea. But the North Korea shares a border both with, ready for this, Russia and China, which we've talked about extensively. And I love this because no one in the media wants to talk about the fact they have open borders with both countries.
I know, yeah.
We've talked about the largest commercial railroad in the world runs from Pyongyang in North Korea all the way up, crosses the border in Russia, and all the way to Moscow.
Yeah.
And you don't think that Moscow is not supplying them with anything? Like,
no problem at all. Yeah. No. What's
pretty rich.
What's in those boxcars, Fredo?
Exactly. It's one of those things you look at and you go, that's sort of strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, the population is half the size of South Korea, and of course the border was created with an armistice, which we can all end up having to defend once again if something happens.
That would be true. All right, we got to go here, and we got Fox News coming up next. We got the Montana State News, got weekend weather, or weekday weather rather, with Brooke Foster, Babble, and a bunch of other things. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Monday, September 9th, 2019, 51 degrees outside. It is 24 minutes before the top of the hour. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to give away a couple tickets to J. Owen House. The big show's coming up on the 14th. One show only, 7 o'clock. And get you some nice seats for that. We're going to give away 2 a day for the next couple days. And if you don't win at 7 o'clock, you can also get in on our app chat drawing. All you have to do is go to the app chat on your smartphone, download that, and text us the word Tiger, 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 to our app chat line. And that will put you in the drawing for the other 2 tickets. And we'll have a whole row of KMMS folks sitting there together. You can all compare notes and talk about what you like or don't like about the show. And there we are. So what can I tell you? It'll be a fun night. So at that time, get some tickets and you'll be fine. All right, your stream is barely passable. I don't care. I don't care. So what? I don't care. I'm meeting all the goals and exceeding all the goals that Town Square set for me, and streaming's not one of them. So there.
That's right.
So we are crushing apps, we're crushing page views, and we're crushing every other thing they set for me. So hey, I'm happy camper. So
as you should be, Eagle Man. Yeah. You're the man.
And we are a little backwater radio station in the middle of nowhere. So there you are. What do you expect us to do?
Yeah, and close enough to 2 Dot to see it.
That's right. Hey, as long as people in Checkerboard are listening, I'm a happy camper. There you go. Hey, all right. So. And 1,500 downloads is nothing to sneeze at either, I might add. All right, 1957, believe it or not, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed into law the first civil rights bill to pass Congress since Reconstruction.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The last Civil Rights Act was 1875.
Mm-hmm.
And this is important because of everything that's going on in your country regarding civil rights. He signed it into law September 9th, 1957. And this was after the Supreme Court's ruling in 1954 of Brown versus Board of Education.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, here we go, a Republican sending federal troops into Arkansas. Arkansas, we know that state,
Yep.
because of the abuse that blacks were being faced with.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the Republicans that stood up for civil rights of what was going on in the South and to try and protect them. And we can't forget, because this is historical, when the debate for this law was in the Senate, Strom Thurmond, you know, that great advocate of segregation from South Carolina, had the longest one-person filibuster in Senate history, 24 hours and 18 minutes.
Wow.
He stood
up there and talked, huh?
Yeah, in the well of the Senate, and stood there and talked about it. Oh, my gosh. It's incredible to realize, because, you know, one of the sad things about the 13th Amendment, well, got to get this in. It's important. Lincoln wanted this done. He proposed it on January 31st, 1865. Now, this is after his second election as president, and just months before, or 3 months before he was assassinated. It was approved that year in 1865. But interestingly enough, I want to read this and hear what it says, because this was the abolishment of for slavery that he insisted on, and the Southern Democrats forced the wording of this to get it approved. Section 1: neither slavery nor involuntary servitude. All right, ready for this? Except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So, in other words, unless you went to prison, no slavery or solitude, or
involuntary solitude. Servitude, not solitude. Okay.
Yeah. So the Southerners took this one for great reasons. So when blacks or African Americans were sent to prison, they were then lent out for, as slaves, mm-hmm. basically, to businesses to work.
Yeah.
And that came up, last year with what's his name in the White House with Trump. I can't remember the gentleman, the musician, who got in all kinds of trouble for it.
Okay.
The African American guy that went to the White House with his wife. I can't think of his name.
Kanye West
Kanye
or
West,
Jay-Z or one of those guys?
I think it was Kanye West. Yeah.
All right.
And he read it, but no one listened.
Yeah. All right. We got to go. We'll be right back right after these important words. Stay tuned. 15 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, September 9th, 2019, 50 degrees outside. We got a caller waiting on the line. Shane has deemed his contribution would be a valuable contribution to this program. So we are going to take that call right now. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
This is Jacob. He has a point.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was just talking with Shane. Maybe you can kind of explain what I was saying a little better than I was putting it.
Oh, go ahead, Jacob. But just start it, and then we'll continue from there.
All right. So I've always been a conservative, always been Republican, and I've always wondered why it would be a talking point for the right to say that the left has historically been the party of slavery, when now we can see that they're changing. They've been far more progressive now with all the LGBT stuff and whatnot. And so I'm wondering, should that not be a point that's actually to their credit as opposed to hurting them?
Being the party of slavery, you're saying?
What's that?
You mean them being a party of slavery?
Right.
Well,
wouldn't that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, slavery's 100 years ago. Is it really? The great thing about America is it's self-correcting. We corrected the women's vote. We corrected the, slavery to some people. We we destroyed marriage. Other people think we opened marriage up. So, we're at a different point in time than we were when slavery was there. And to tie that around somebody's neck, I don't know if it's beneficial or not. I mean, they do have a history of that, even as far back as Schumer and Pelosi and Obama, when Mexican folks were voting Republican, they wanted the borders closed. They didn't want anybody coming in here. And then when that switched, all of a sudden now, we don't want any walls at all. Open borders, bring everybody in. We'll let them vote whether they're citizens or not, because we know how they're going to vote. So.
And do you think that's purely because of Trump and a hatred for Trump?
Well, I think part of it is obviously Bush had a good following of Mexicans from Texas, and I think a lot of people. I think that generated around the country for him, and I think that's why they were anti-Mexican when Bush was running. Then when Obama came along, they were still. They just gone through 8 years of Bush, and now they're, Obama said, hey, let's stop this inflow of voters for Republicans, and Schumer and Pelosi and everybody got behind that. But during the Obama administration, that switched, and more Hispanics started voting for Democrats. So now they've switched their position to pander to that base.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly it happened, too.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't take long. Well, we got a 24/7 news cycle and social media and everything like that. An idea can spread much faster than it could, just 10 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you all for having me on.
Hey, thanks for the call. Yeah, anytime. Come on back, whenever you like. Yeah.
All righty.
Thanks a lot. Let's take it.
Go ahead. We have another call?
Yeah, we got another call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Calling on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi. Well, I was just responding to the last caller. The point of pointing out that the Democrats are the ones responsible for slavery in the past is that they have for the last, generation been accusing Republicans of being the owners of slavery in the Ku Klux Klan when it was actually a Democrat institution to start with. So
yeah, we're the racist. We're the racist.
To us for the last, So it's because I grew up in a Democrat family, and when I started actually studying history, and I was like, wait, something's not right here.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the point. It's just that they've been viewing these lies for this long. They need to own what they did. And they're still doing it. It's just less formal now. We have you're trapped into food stamps and welfare. And because you're trapped into those programs sponsored by Democrats, you're kind of forced to vote Democrat.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're getting free stuff.
It's the same slavery. It's just a different plantation.
That's true. Yeah,
you're 100% right. A federal one.
Yeah, as long as you're getting free stuff, why would you not keep voting the same people in? I mean,
two things are important. You have to have children, and you can't have a man in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awful. Anyway, I just thought I would throw that out there.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thanks.
All
Have a good day.
You too. All right. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these important words. So, hey, there may be a test later. And coming up at 7 o'clock, going to give away some JON House tickets. So be ready for that. We'll give those away by phone. And if you want to win, also, another way you can win is text us the word Tiger on our app chat, AM 1450 KMMS on the app chat. Text Tiger to us on the app chat, and you'll be in a drawing, and we'll announce that near later on this morning after we get a few people in there. So we'll be right back right after this. 5 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, and it's September 9th, 2019. 51 degrees outside. Coming up at 7 o'clock, we're going to give away a couple tickets by phone for JON House coming up on September 14th. And if you would like to enter and get a chance to maybe win again, if you don't win on the phone, go to our app chat on our AM 1450 KMMS app and text the word tiger to us on the app chat, and that'll put you in a drawing, and we will notify the winner of that later on today. So get in there, and you'll have two chances to win. So it's going to be a big show at Brick Breeden, and it always is when J. Owen House is in town. He'll be our guest on Thursday. We'll be chatting with him and give us a little thing on the show. And we're going to give away 2 VIP tickets while he's here, and those will be backstage passes. You can go back and pet the tiger and cut somebody in half if you want to, and all that stuff. So that should be fun. So we're going to give away a couple of tickets to that on Thursday when Jay's here. So stay tuned for that coming up. From our text line, excellent point that makes perfect sense in regard to the last caller's response. Let's see. Please review extended weather forecast at the top of each hour. Well, we could sure do that, I guess. I was wondering if we should do that or not, Shane. Should we give a more extended forecast for those that are just getting up at 7 o'clock rather than just kind of the abbreviated Brooke Foster version? Let's see. We can tell you pretty easily here. Let's see. We've got... Well, at least today, rain mostly before 10 o'clock, and chance of precip today is 90%. We're looking for a high of 66, and a 50% chance of rain Monday night before 1 a.m., mostly cloudy, then becoming mostly clear toward daybreak with a low of around 44. And then on Tuesday, slight chance of rain between 9 and 1, and then showers likely, and possibly a thunderstorm after 1 o'clock. Partly sunny with a high near 64. Chance of precip for Tuesday is 60%, and chance of precip on Tuesday night is 80%. So that'll keep you apprised for the next couple of days. Right, Shane? Yeah. Oh, man, I don't have you turned up. Sorry. Forgot to slide your button up.
Just one other thing that's important with regards to civil rights because of what happened. So the Jim Crow laws were initiated after the Confederate states were given clear freedom by the federal government and the Great Compromise under President Grant. And then there was a horrific decision made in 1896 by the U.S. Supreme Court of Plessy versus Ferguson, where it was a landmark decision. The Supreme Court had upheld constitutionally of the racial segregation laws for public facilities as long as the segregated facilities were equal in quality, which created the doctrine until 1965 of separate but equal. So that included public education and the establishment of that segregation in the South. It also included segregation of everything except the military, which is interesting because the military had already been segregated. And remember, this is the beginning of the big progressive left with President Woodrow Wilson. And he was a Southern Democrat that initiated segregation of federal workplace in 1913. So the last caller is absolutely right about the history in regards to this matter.
Yeah. Well, on this date in 2009, Republican Joe Wilson, the Republican of South Carolina, shouted, "You lie," during the President Barack Obama speech to Congress on health care. I can't remember anybody yelling "you lie" to Trump. Maybe that'll happen in the next time he addresses Congress. We'll see, I guess. So, all right, coming up, we got 2 tickets to give away to J. Owen House. If you're the 5th caller, we will get you going. So 522 talk is the number. 522-8255. We'll take the 5th caller for J. Owen House tickets. So get your dial and finger ready and go for it. We'll be right back after the news at the top of the hour. All right, thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. Second hour of the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. It's Monday, September 9th, 2019. It's 50 degrees outside, 6 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. And let's see, from our text line, 478-8298, based on their history, no wonder the Democrats are trying to erase it.
True. It's a truism.
If you think there's a difference between the two parties, you've been fooled. One tax and spends, the other borrows and spends, I guess. Joe Wilson shouted, "You lie," after President Obama denied the health care plan would cover illegal immigrants. Obama didn't lie about that. Trump's told 12,000 documented lies, and Republicans won't call him out. Instead, they defend his lies. Yes, the hurricane was headed for Alabama. It was. And yes, the wall is being built and paid for by Mexico, and I think they've pretty well established that feed, clothing, and housing 6,000 Mexicans at their southern border is costly, and we haven't had a caravan since Trump threatened tariffs against Mexico.
That's correct.
So that has obviously worked. I believe the lie was about if you keep your doctor, you can keep your doctor. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan.
Well,
that was definitely a lie. Whether it was Wilson.
Definitely no. But during his State of the Union address, he specifically said that Obamacare would not provide care for illegal immigrants or whatever the wording was at the time, unregistered immigrants. And so Joe Wilson yelled, "You lie," and he did. I mean,
well, it wasn't during State of the Union.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. It just happened today. We just reported it in this day in history.
I'm talking about Joe Wilson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joe Wilson was not during the State of the Union.
Yes.
Because the State of the Union is in February. This is September.
I understand, but
this day in history, 2009.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was September 9th. It was a joint session of Congress.
Right.
Sorry.
Yep. That he was talking about health care.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right,
he was talking about health care. So.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
My apologies.
No, it's all right. Just want to make sure everybody.
No, I'm glad you kept me straight.
We're okay. Yeah. I thought it was State of the Union too, but when I saw it today, I remember the date really well because Nancy goes, "Oh my God, who would ever do anything like that to President Obama? Oh my God!" And as we turned out, of course, it was a true statement from Joe Wilson. That is.
That is, yeah, exactly.
So anyway, and
that's great.
So at least the Republicans do call out liars, I guess.
I guess they do. Yeah.
I guess they do. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. In local news, another thing about Jeff Krause, Love Lane homeowners upset over new streetlights. So we got the streetlights streaming in their upstairs bedroom windows, and they're upset about it on Love Lane. They're demanding the Montana Department of Transportation turn off recently installed streetlights that they say are shining into their homes and ruining the rural character of their neighborhood.
Ouch.
Montana Department of Transportation said it won't turn off the lights because they make the road safer, but said it is looking into ways to reduce the amount of light that reaches homes. Love Lane is a rural road, as we all know, with real people who brought properties there because of the rural peace and quiet, the solitude of the night, except for the bears and mountain lions and cougars and everybody else that
rumbling through your garbage.
The raccoons and
exactly
everything else. But anyway, this summer the Transportation Department completed a $1 million project on Love Lanes that includes the addition of a traffic signal at the intersection with Huffine Lane, the widening of the roadway for a left turn lane, and the installation of street lights. So the state took on the project, which is part of a larger improvement along Huffine Lane that began in 2007 to address the increasing traffic and make intersections safer. And so good for them, huh? Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's make the place safer.
Exactly.
But yeah, these street lights, things are, I don't know. I think you have to get Elon Musk to rocket you up to take care of them.
I think so.
They're so high that they're going to blanket your whole house in in whatever. So I don't know. It's quite a deal. So I don't know. At the time when Trump tweeted Dorian would hit Alabama, the forecast said nothing of the sort. Either he was using old information or just made a mistake. The danger is he can't admit he's ever wrong. That's a danger. Well, there was a possibility that it could jump Florida and go into the Gulf. I mean,
that's right.
That was one of the scenarios that could happen. Mm-hmm. So please don't even. You got a straw man argument there. So, I mean, say it if you want to, but hey, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It just hit Canada. How long? This is the longest hurricane in my memory that's been going on.
Yeah, Nova Scotia got whacked pretty bad.
Yeah, this thing cracked down a crane up there or something I saw this morning. Took a crane off the top of a building and whatever. And dang.
Yeah, as if we didn't build so little here.
I know. Yeah. I mean, you're like China building these cities nobody will ever live in.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty bad, but yeah, I don't remember a hurricane lasting this long. I mean, even the ones that have gone up the coast. Didn't Hugo? Wasn't that one that went up the coast? I don't remember the names of all these things.
And it hit us. It hit us too, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this thing's been going on for, 2 weeks almost? I mean, come on, it's a storm. What's the deal? As it goes, I realize the warm weather runs up the coast, but come on.
The storm watches the news and seeing how popular it is on the news cycle. And thought, well, I got to keep going because that's all they're talking is about me.
Yeah, right. So apparently, yeah. So. I don't know, man. It's quite a mess, but
yeah.
All right. Well, let's say for the sake of argument that we all agree Trump lies. Okay, can we just get off the Trump lies stuff? That he lies. All right, or he misinforms, or whatever you want to call it. So fine.
Yeah, fine. I like that. Okay.
Guy's president. You elected him. He's gonna be president for another 5 years. Get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on. So that should be that should be at the bottom of your list. So.
At the bottom of your list.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the logging site out north of town where the logging company used to be, and that's been delisted now as a site, a superfund site for cleanup. They've
has it?
Yeah, they've delisted it. Local health officials has submitted a letter outlining concerns over the EPA potential delisting of the site. And the EPA announced in July its intent to remove the Idaho pole site from a national list of contaminated areas, saying it's ready for development. And the Montana Department of Environmental Quality agreed with that assessment. So, but the Gallatin County Board of Health and the Gallatin Local Water Quality District Board are concerned the site has not been sufficiently vetted and fear risk of lingering contamination. So it was added to the list in 1986 after it was found to be contaminating soil and groundwater with all kinds of bad stuff that I can't pronounce here. So, it's one of those 35-letter words of, stuff with chlorinol and phenol and pentacol and all that stuff in it. Hydrocarbons, I think I can pronounce, but anyway, that's about as far as it goes. So that will, I'm not sure what you're going to build back there. It's mostly, we'll have to ask Krause about it. I'm pretty sure it's zoned commercial back there. I don't think anybody would want to live back there. It's right next to the railroad track. I don't think you want trains running by, 10 times a day past your house. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a commercial of some kind of commercial venture will go in there. So I don't know. Anyway, And we've got a company, Bridger Aerospace, over in Belgrade. They are doing drones to help with firefighting. They are a company that originally started as a firefighting company, and they've got about 120 people and operate 10 manned aircraft and several drones. And they have the scooper planes. They got 6 of them that scoop water out of the rivers and lakes and whatever, and then dump them on forest fires. So they've got that going on. And they were first formed as an aerial firefighting company, among other fire management functions. They've started using drones now and technology to map out blazes and show where they're headed, where they're going, and all of that sort of stuff. So good for them. We haven't had as many fires. We've had rain. We're pretty lucky. We're into fire season right now, and if we can get through September and the snow starts falling sometime in October or early November, then maybe we won't have the fires that we've had in the past. So.
Yeah, last year at this time we had 664 fires burning. I have none now.
Yeah.
And all summer long, it's been remarkable because it's been beautiful summer. But we haven't even gone to the medium, where you can't have a campfire. I mean, all summer long, it's been quite remarkable here.
Yeah. All right, we've got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after some words from Progressive Insurance and some other things. So hang on. Monday, September 9th, 2019. Welcome back to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and the aforementioned Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tom Eaglehoff in beautiful downtown Bozeman, your morning mayor. And, we were talking a little bit about Trump and lying. So I reminded of Hank Johnson, the Democrat from Georgia, who thought Guam would tip over if we got too many soldiers on one side of it. So, I mean, that was well documented. You can look it up on Facebook if you want to do that. When Trump said Dorian would hit L.A., no forecast predicted such a thing. The NWS had to correct him. I heard several people who thought it might jump Florida. I mean, Rita and Katrina went all the way up to southern Illinois, so I think jumping Florida wouldn't be too much of a task for a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. Let's admit Trump lies, and we don't care about truth unless it's a Democrat. We like lies that make us feel good. Well, we do like lies that make us feel good, We felt good when we thought we could keep our own doctor. We felt good when we thought we could keep our plan. So, it works.
And why shouldn't you?
How come the Trump haters don't see the Democrats and media lies? Yeah, I wonder why they don't see those.
It is incredible when you think about it, right? I mean, it's like one of those things that's a contradiction of, well, we've talked about it enough. Go ahead. What else is great?
Well, the other great things, I guess, mountain bikers are raising money for trails, and they got Bikes and Brews, not BRUISE or whatever it is. But anyway, they're going for BREWS. And Saturday was National Beer Lovers Day. The event ended with a beer and a food tasting party. Swimbia hopes to get to 2,000 members and raise $20,000 by 2020 for trail projects and advocacy work. And the event was partly held to garner interest and help the organization reach its goals, volunteer and event direction and all of that stuff. So we'll see how that goes along there. But we have to maintain our trails and things for folks that it's otherwise they do kind of deteriorate.
That's right.
Let's see. The media does lie. Sean Hannity peddles conspiracy theories. He's a commentator. He's allowed to do that. Shepard Smith isn't, or some of the other folks that report the news versus commentators like,
Us.
yeah, us, Rush Limbaugh,
That's right.
Hannity, Mark Levin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obama told us Trump said, what an amateur. Watch this.
Well, yeah. Well, and the amazing thing that everything that's happened
Hmm.
in the last 2 years, not just about going after your president,
Yeah.
but all the stuff that's now come out about this whole investigation would never have happened if Hillary had gotten elected. Everything would have gone on. I watched an interesting program last night about Google and their effect on the election in 2016, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And how they can shift massive amounts of votes because of the way they organize people's Google searches. And when you think about how crazy the left went with about the Russians being involved in your election, and there's nothing about Google, there's nothing about China in this election coming up. It's like you have to, as a Canadian, like I shake my head, I go, wow, like what's going on?
Yeah, you think so. You think, what's going on? I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, if you're a third party, you look at it and you go, why aren't they investigating China and Google? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, apparently they are. They're talking about going after Google and Facebook pretty quickly here. They're coming back in office, So yeah, they've got investigations planned for those two, but. From our text line, 478-8298, the people who rail about Trump and how he lied about the hurricane tracking are the same people who predict that the world would end in 12 years due to climate change.
Very good.
How hilarious. That's from David.
That's David. You're bang on, buddy. That was good.
David's on the ball there. Yeah, David's up to date. Just wait till the huge town pump at Huff and Love Lane goes in. Bye-bye rural. Such a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. They're going to put a town pump at Huff and Love Lane. I don't know. Well, I guess they're at every intersection between here and there anyway, so why not another one, huh? Last chance for gas until the next exit.
That's right. I love that. That's my favorite sign that they don't have, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Next gas, 500 miles.
Yeah, exactly. They should put that up.
They should put that up there. Let's take a phone call and we got to take a break here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Although I kind of avoid Google because there are 200 search engines. I use the one from Canada called startpage.com. I tried Google to ask a question about human evolution before 7 million years ago, and it kept bumping me off because there's a class at Wonderlust about human evolution. There is a philosophical theory that we were more spiritual and we fell into materiality much earlier than that by being tempted for sex and playing around with material trinkets. But I couldn't get at it through the Google system, so it may even be trying to adjust our scientific look at the world.
That may be. All right, I got to go. Hey, thanks for the call.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, we'll be back. I want to talk a little bit about that because I wrote a blog on it today that's available at the website. So we'll talk about that when we come back. And also get tickets to Jay Owenhouse's big show. All you have to do is go to the app chat on our AM 1450 KMMS app and text the word Tiger to the app chat to file, and that'll put you in the drawing for today. And we'll announce the winners later on this morning after we get a few votes in there. So we'll be right back right after this. 23 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Monday, September 9th, 2019, 50 degrees outside. We're looking for a high in the mid, 60s today, maybe. I don't know. It's going to rain all day. 90% chance of rain going on. And, going to rain all week, Shane.
It is.
Yeah. You must be getting it up there if we're getting it down here.
We're getting it up here. Big thunderstorms this weekend with lightning across the sky. It was a beautiful show.
Wow. All right. Well, depending on your interest in football, sad news from Park County. The Park High School football team will no longer compete at the varsity level this season. They're going to disband football. School administrators and coaches made the decision Thursday night to forfeit the rest of the season and compete only at the junior varsity level, citing player safety as the sole reason for the decision. So, wow.
Wow, we talked about this a year ago with streaming, and then we talked about it because of the injury suffered in the NFL, that this is what we may see, the demise of football in high school, which means what happens in college and then with the NFL. But
yeah,
streaming is going to be the big deal because in 2024, the NFL billion-dollar NFL contracts with the networks is up.
Yeah.
So this 100th anniversary may be the golden year of football, folks. I mean, it's sad but true.
Yeah, could be. Well, one of the problems with Park High School, it's a small school, obviously, and the problem is that they only have, I think, 3 seniors that were available, and they had to go with freshmen and sophomores, who, of course, aren't very big at that age. So it can be kind of dangerous if you're going up against Bozeman or somebody like that, where you got 200 or 300-pound guys on the line. That are vying for college. It's at the senior level, so it can. I could see where the safety issue would be a consideration for some of these smaller schools. The bad thing, I guess, is that you give up some revenue because obviously you could charge people to get in, and that pays for the program.
Right. And let us not forget that males physically mature at 18 and females physically mature at 21. So, like you say, how big were you when you were 18? You're not a small guy, right? I think you said you were 6 feet tall in the 12th grade or the 10th grade or something, right?
Yeah, I was 6 feet when I went into high school, and I graduated at 17.
Wow.
Instead of 18, so. I was a college freshman at 17. Yeah,
you're a brilliant guy.
Because I'm smart.
You showed him, baby.
I showed him, man. Well, that's kind of a sad situation there. That they're, because athletics are, I think, they're a building block of your personality sometimes. And I didn't realize not everybody competes in athletics, and that's fine. There's other endeavors that have the same result. You can be on the debate team, you can be on the chess team, you can be on the, any competitive situation. It doesn't have to be physical, to teach you the value of teamwork and, camaraderie and all the things that go into competitive competition. Yeah. So I certainly feel for them, but
well, I have to tell you this. It's just as a side note to what we're talking about. So on Fox they had this night about in high school, where you throw the ball and hit people to eliminate them, and they had this professor from Simon Fraser University here in Vancouver did this study, and it's terrible and it degrades kids and it's an awful contact sport and all that. But she didn't even respond to rugby, soccer, hockey, football. I mean, talk about contact sports. Give me a break.
There's some contact there. I'll tell you. It does go on. All right, we got to take another break. We've got Big Sky RV, Mercedes, Babel, the Mint. We got it all, man. Let me tell you, this is no downstream morning show. This is the top drawer program right here. I mean, all those big guys going on there. So, all right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. 51 degrees outside. It's Monday, September 9th, 2019. 14 minutes before the top of the hour of 8 o'clock. Congrats to the Bobcats. They are now 1-1. They won on Saturday, as we predicted here on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And from our text line, you knuckleheads need to educate yourself instead of believing president lies. Okay, we'll try and do that. We'll try our best to educate ourselves, won't we? Oh, let's see. Shepard Smith calls Trump out for the hurricane. Yeah, that's his job. He's a reporter, not a commentator. His job is to report the news accurately, and there you go. So Google influences voters, but Russian operatives didn't. Well, I think Google's got a little more power than the Russian operatives do. Google could text vote to every Democrat out there, and I don't think the Russians could afford to do that. So please don't even go there. As conservatives, we miss when the GOP was conservative and cared about truth, morals, and debt. I would agree with that. Now they just want to win regardless of how they get there. Borrow and steal and stick it to the libs is the new Trump GOP party. Rip a GOP, former Republican. So, all right, let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, the clouds are up and the rain is down.
Well, all right. Now we're talking. I like it.
Well, here's some stuff that you probably didn't see in the news.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
I'm telling you.
We know everything in the news. I mean,
well,
geez, come on.
We have a new acronym.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, it's MAP. MAP stands for Minor Attracted Person.
Oh.
AKA pedophile, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Public service announcement for the hunters out there. The Apple put out an app for a scope, rifle scope, and you can integrate your scope in your phone, I guess. And there was 10,000 users of the app, and now the government wants to know who they are.
Okay.
Who are these guys?
Who's scoping a rifle with their phone?
Yeah, well, it's dope. It's all the dope on your scope.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's the dope on your scope.
Yeah, so you can look up all your dope, and all you'd have to do is know the range. You have to have a rangefinder also.
Is that 1995? And if you order now, you get two of them.
No, it's a pretty pricey unit. I forget exactly what it costs, but no, it wasn't cheap.
Well,
in other news, we have the UN has now said that entering the U.S. illegally is a right. So I guess we don't have to just open the borders, let them in.
Yep. There you go.
Facebook's got a new ban. You will not be allowed to post the insert from any vaccine on Facebook. So
wow.
This stuff is so good you don't even need to know what the side effects are, I guess.
Yes, apparently, yeah. Well, aren't they all the same? High blood pressure, diarrhea, cause of possible death.
Death, yeah.
I was going to say, that's always the one that's in there.
High fever and brain damage.
That's right.
And as far as the Dems that are texting in, I was watching the weather. One of the earliest tracks was that the storm would blast across Florida into the Gulf and affect those Gulf states right there. And at the time that they predicted that as a possible track, there was 7 thunderstorms right up there in the Gulf where it was headed. 3 of them were. So it could have been a real mess if it did that. But it definitely showed the track blasted right across Florida into the Gulf. So fight me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the early predictions, but now whether Trump was late to the ball to announce that and had already changed and gone up the coast, I don't know. But that was a track at one time.
And I'm not positive on this one, but I think part of the confusion was that they had when they put the states up, they had Louisiana, where Georgia is.
Oh, okay. Well,
so much for the Weather Service. They don't even know what map they're looking at.
I always thought it would be cool if the astronauts radioed back, "Hey, you got this map all wrong." You know?
Yeah.
Africa looks like an orange, you know.
That's right.
And India's V-shaped. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I-95 runs east and west.
That's right. Yeah. I thought that would be fun if they would do that, you know.
Yeah, well, they get to see a lot more than we did, I guess.
Well, I guess so. Good for them.
But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today.
Well, that was more than enough. So
it's a mad world.
Well, it's Monday. You're a little light this morning. Other things will happen this week, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, I'll save the really bad stuff for Friday.
That's for sure. Thanks, Pete.
You have a good one.
All right. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back right after this. It is Monday, and it's September the 9th, 2019. It's 51 degrees outside at 5 minutes before the top of the hour. And, well, another top news, San Francisco Board of Supervisors declares the NRA a domestic terrorist organization. What do you think, Shane?
Well, it's amazing. I think 19 out of 20 supervisors on the board obviously are going to pass that. You know,
I would think so.
Here we
yeah.
go again, right? Like,
I don't know.
but it's like, you know, it's 5 million members, and you know, you're talking probably about 40% of the American public. You know, in the context of, you know, their support for the NRA and so forth. You know, it's like deplorables, right? Like that. What a crazy thing to talk about.
Well, it sort of is, and the other thing is that for decades the NRA stood together with the state association, the California Rifle and Pistol Association. I wonder what those guys are.
Yeah, exactly.
And fought for the rights to keep and bear arms in the state capitol, in the courts, and in city halls across the state. So I'm wondering what their thinking is. That I don't know. The NRA has gone under fire for these guys because of these shootings, and you know, you might as well blame the NAACP because of racism.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. But you know, when we talk about this all the time, you know, your country like ours, you know, it's basically split into three. You know, you have the left is 33%, the right is 32%, and then you have the undecided independents in the middle. Yeah.
And you wonder how much the Democrats are going to push the undecided and independents in the middle to the right, because at some point, people in your country that are independent and, you know, sort of like unassociated, I think they're going to get sort of tired of getting all this constant, you know, press by the left to go left. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of weird.
Well, I think the next debates and everything are going to tell a big story for those independents. You know, if they're watching the debates at all, that everybody says, "Oh yeah, let's give free health care to you know, to illegals."
Yeah.
Well, you know, we almost, you know, we under the law, if you show up in an emergency room, they have to treat you. You know, I mean, that's the law since Reagan passed it.
That's right.
But, you know, I guess they can safely say that and then fall back on that law if they want to. But
yeah, exactly.
But the rest of us have to pay for it with our uninsured portion of our health insurance, and it would be more formidable, I guess, if you got a bill in the mail. This is your bill for undocumented aliens, you know, or illegal aliens. Here, you know, you owe $57.50, you know, for this month for illegals that went to the emergency room or got in an accident, weren't insured or something. You know, right. I think that would really bring it home, what you want to do. So, All right, let's take a phone call here real quick as Shane dials back in. His string and tin can have lost the connection again, as usual. So he is in Canada, where I think Alexander Graham Bell just got done with the phone yesterday, he and Watson, so we'll find out. But anyway, let's take a quick phone call and we got to go. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, so they deemed the NRA a terrorist group. So now the next logical step is to deem a conservative or a Republican, or if you vote for a certain candidate, now you're a part of a terrorist group.
That's it.
Is that where it leads to next?
That's it.
Or if you go to a Tea Party rally, now you're a terrorist, and maybe they won't allow you to get on an airplane.
Wow.
Maybe you should quit calling into the show because you might be considered a terrorist.
There you are.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're only a couple steps away from, maybe you go to get a bank loan for a house, and they go, you know what, you're a part of that Tea Party thing, and I see you vote Republican. I don't think we're going to give you a loan, or if we do, it's going to be 20%.
Yeah, look on that loan bill or loan app for which radio stations do you listen to?
Right. Well, they're doing it in China, and they're
they are
a social thing, and they're you now or your plane ticket now is $1,000 because you're not right with the government.
Gotta go. All right, thanks.
All right, you guys.
Thanks, man. We'll be right back. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It's Monday, September 9th. Got the Montana Gift Corral trying to jump in there on on our parade. I don't know what they're thinking. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, I was just giving Shane some advice on your streaming burst, your bat size. The secondary bat size is wrong.
Oh, okay.
And the true morning moron, who is your IT person, he needs to call the person at KBUL to get it right.
Well, he's not the one that does the streaming. That's Spectrum.
Sure he does.
That's Spectrum.
Well, okay. Well, whoever that guy is, they need to flog him.
He says it's called the secondary batch. Never heard of it, but okay.
No.
In San Francisco, you can crap in the street and come across the border for free.
Right.
But the NRA is a terrorist organization.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works.
Hey, I have one thing to say.
Go for it.
Just remember that Bob Barr was the Attorney General last time they signed the assault weapons ban in 1993, I believe it was.
Or under Bush.
94.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It started working its way through Congress in 93. So Bob Barr is not going to go to bat for the Second Amendment.
Well, he might this time around.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, don't believe that. If you believe that, I got a bridge to tell you.
Well, it doesn't matter what he does. It's what matters is what Congress does and what the president signs. I mean.
Yeah, but don't rely on the Republicans in Congress to preserve your God-given.
Well, I'm not gonna hold my breath though while they.
Can I sneeze? Can I sneeze?
They've done it before. The best you can hope for is the sunset. So.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, hi. I just tuned into your station, and I've been reading the paper this past week, and we were talking about the NRA and such.
Mm-hmm.
One of the papers were saying that the number of stores that were not going to allow people to carry guns.
Right.
When these stores do this, it's kind of like an invitation to these nutcases, these yahoos.
I would say so. I would say it absolutely
it's like posting a sign out, gun-free zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying, come in here. Well, the good citizens are going to follow the rules, but who do you think is not going to follow the rules?
Yeah, exactly right. No, we've thought that for a long time, that one of the nice things I think about Montana is that you can open carry anywhere in the state except maybe federal buildings. The guard there may stop you and say, hey, leave your check your weapon at the door, but
Yeah, like the old saloons back in the 1800s.
right.
You gotta check your gun in before you go
got to
inside.
turn your gun in when you come to town. But yeah, I've always felt safer in Bozeman, Montana than any place else I've ever been, because I know within 50 feet of me, if somebody starts shooting, about 10 people are going to pull out a gun and start shooting back.
Yeah, and there was that arrest out at the gun club of that terrorist. Do you think those terrorists are going to go into a store where they're carrying guns?
No.
Do you think they're going to go into a store where they're saying, don't bring guns in here?
Yeah. Well, that. Most of the shootings, you don't see them shooting at police stations, and you don't see them shooting at gun shows very often. So,
well, I know a lot of states. A lot of states aren't open carry. A lot of states allow people to conceal and carry. So
yeah, there's conceal carry too. But yeah,
I have a lot to say about the NRA. My children both, and my grandchildren, one of my grandchildren, they attended the NRA safe gun,
courses.
When they were talking about
instructions and whatever. Yeah,
instructions.
Sure.
I've been there, and these people teach people how to be safe, and do it in a good way, and I just think it's a wonderful thing to be a part of, because I believe they're keeping our nation safe.
Well, the majority of gun owners are responsible people. They just are. And
yeah, I agree. Well, I guess that's all I have to say before I have to take off to work.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
Have a good day at work. All right.
Bye-bye.
Caller, you're on the air. What's going on? Okay, maybe not. All right. Back to our text line, 478-8298. To finish up, the left are total fascists in Democrat clothing. That's from Kevin. And the Trump psychopaths are embarrassing themselves. Again, at the time when Trump tweeted about Alabama, there were no models showing a path to Alabama. So what? Who cares? That was old, 3 to 4 days old data. So you can't report 3 or 4 days old data, I guess, huh? He made a mistake. So what? No big deal. Big deal is he can't admit he makes mistakes. He's the most perfect human being since Jesus Christ, and that is sad. So, City of San Francisco has declared the NRA a terrorist organization. This is coming from a town where they literally can't even get their crap together on the streets. These statistics are becoming more of a joke, and that's from David. And guess when they ban guns, we'll be back to Joe Bones of the ass. I guess so. Maybe so. I don't know. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Calling you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
This is Clint.
Hey, Clint. How you doing?
Good morning, good sir.
Good morning, Shane. How are you this morning?
I am terrific, and I hope you are as well.
Well, I'm fine for an old guy. If they banned our guns, we won't be free anymore.
Well, that's the point. That's the point of the Second Amendment, is to defend yourself against the government.
Clint, how do you ban 360 million guns? Give me a break.
That's right.
Oh, you buy them back. You buy them back, Shane.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think there's more than 60 million. Way more than
360 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if they ever did it, let's assume that they've done it.
Yeah.
A hypothetical. I love it.
This is all hypothetical now.
All right.
How long do you think it would be before China or the Taliban or somebody else would try to overtake us, knowing that we didn't have a way to defend ourselves here in the U.S.?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they would come and try to invade us. I think nuclear weapons would be the...
Well, whatever.
Just eliminate...
Hey, Clint.
Yeah.
Clint, the Muslims are going to take over Europe by 2050 just by demographics, okay?
Yeah.
There'll be enough Muslims in Europe to vote in Sharia governments, and without firing a shot, they're going to take over Europe because the birth rate in every country is less than 2%.
Yeah,
It's going to happen. And our children, your grandchildren, my children, they're going to see it happen. It's going to be you watch what happens. That's what's going to happen.
Well, we like pouring money and over $2 trillion over the last 18 or 19 years into Afghanistan alone.
Yep.
And I think somebody better wake up here. And as far as taking
wait. I had an epiphany yesterday. Okay.
Okay.
They keep using this argument that you need to stay in Afghanistan so they can't regroup and attack you again. Well, that's a sad commentary on your intelligence services, right?
Right. I agree.
I mean, get out of Afghanistan, and if your intelligence services, your satellites, and everything else that you have access to, the NSA, cell phones, everything that they're watching, can't determine what they're doing, it's a sad commentary of the billions your intelligence services are spending to protect you.
Well, they're not protecting us, really. The thing
that's
is,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's the thing is my feelings about Europe, period, is this here. Let Europe do what Europeans do. Let Americans do what Americans do. Protect our nation here. Let the Taliban have their own nation. If they want to destroy their economy, if they want to grow poppies, if they want to produce various different drugs, just let them. But eventually it'll all catch up to them. But the thing is, we keep pouring money and lives into places we should not be. Russia tried it. Am I right? Didn't they try
Correct.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How come 9/11 happened? It wasn't Taliban that flew them planes. It was Arabians.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Osama bin Laden said that he didn't like us being in Arabia, our air bases and stuff. And then from there, we'd go to try to destroy various other different places we had to do, like Iraq and whatever. He didn't like it.
Well, let us not forget your government supported Osama bin Laden fighting the Russians and kicking them out of Afghanistan in the first place.
Yeah.
He gave them the Stinger missiles, to knock out the helicopters and stuff.
That's exactly right.
It just keeps going and going and going. But here's the piece of advice I'd give everybody. Keep your gun, and when they come to the door and want that gun, say you've got a choice, leave or die. One of us is going to die.
Come and take it, right?
That's my motto.
So, Clint, I want to ask you this question,
Okay.
not a hypothetical. So now Iran is saying that they're going to continue producing nuclear weapons, breaking the treaty with Europe, and the Americans aren't in it. So why aren't the Europeans now dumping the treaty and saying, okay, we're not dealing with you? Well, why not?
Yeah, why? What's the matter with Israel and stuff? And let them guys take care of their own country. Let us take care of our country. I don't give a damn what Iran's doing. If they can want an atomic weapon and the neighbors don't want it, then let the neighbors decide or fight or whatever they want to do. But let's not bring our blood and treasure into some damn thing like we did in Korea, like we did in Vietnam. I'm sick of this here war stuff.
Yep.
We all are. God, 57,000 Vietnamese Americans were killed in Vietnam. Over 27,000 in Korea. 9,000 of them captured by the North Koreans and went to Russia. Our pilots and such. I am so sick of this news media and the way they spin things. They do not tell the truth. If they told the truth about anything, it would be really nice. And look at what happened with our weather. You was talking about that earlier, Tom.
Yeah.
The Bahamas. My God, that's our territory. Look what happened to those people.
Mm-hmm.
My God, let's try to help. Let's take the $2 trillion we're pissing off over there in Europe and in Afghanistan, and let's do something to help these people. Let's quit doing that.
All right.
I hope Trump's listening. Now, God darn it, I just hate to see us take our blood and treasure, and give it to some other nation. Yeah, I just hate it.
Gotta go. Hey, thanks for the call.
You betcha. Bye.
All right, bye. We'll be right back. Hey, it's Monday. Yay. Turn your mic on, Tom. It's Monday. 22 minutes after the hour, and 50 degrees outside. And remember, if you want to be a part of the big, who is it? Jay Owen House. You have to be a part of the big Jay Owen House show on Saturday, September 14th. One show only at 7 o'clock. You can win tickets. All you have to do today. We gave away 2 tickets earlier by phone. We're going to give away 2 with our app chat of AM 1450 KMMS. Get over there. App chat's right next to the listen button on your smartphone. All you have to do is text the word Tiger to us on your app chat, and you'll be in the drawing for tickets. So go for it. Why not? Huh? I mean,
yes.
Why not be there, right?
It's simple, baby.
It's simple. It's so simple a caveman could do it.
Well, let's not go there.
Let's not go there, yeah. Let's see, from our text line, 478-8298, the Bahamas is not our territory. The British own it. Well, we helped out in Haiti, and Haiti's not our territory either. So, you know.
And you're there now already saving people, so.
Yeah, I don't know that we have to be necessarily involved to be humanitarian, but that's, you know. But we do keep children in cages at the border. So let's... You know, we're not perfect by any means. You know, we are pretty despicable, pretty deplorable, actually. If you really want to, if you really want to go there, you know, we're pretty bad, all things considered. Well, we were just talking about the Taliban. President Trump said Saturday that he canceled secret meetings with Taliban leaders and separately Afghanistan's president, which. Were apparently scheduled for Sunday at Camp David. The president called off the talks after the Taliban claimed responsibility for a recent attack in Afghanistan and left a U.S. soldier dead. In response, Taliban said the decision would lead to more losses for the U.S. So now it looks like we've got everybody on the same page. That they're bad guys, we're good guys. Let's take them out, so to speak. So, well, the possibility of agreement between the two sides, which would have ended with the withdrawal of U.S. troops, no longer seems likely. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said negotiations are dead for the time being, but they could be revived eventually. So, what do you think?
Not going to work. They don't care.
They don't care. I agree. You can't negotiate with people that aren't going to keep their promises or keep their agreements or whatever, just like Iran, you know, and China, yeah. You think they're going to stop stealing our intellectual property if they sign a piece of paper?
I know, and you know, 6 months ago when or I guess a year ago when Trump pulled out of the Iranian deal, you know, we talked about this and said, you know, Iran saying the things they were going to do, you know, every guy,
the rest of the people in the agreement,
They busted the agreement, folks. Iran's broken the agreement.
Yeah, and they're supposed to sanctions are supposed to snap back.
Exactly.
Fat chance of that happening, and that's why Trump got out. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, well, you know, all those kids at the border in the cages, you know, they got blankets from space. I don't even have that technology in my home.
I know.
I don't understand why it's so bad. And, you know, the thing I really have this big issue with the open carry law. They don't make a holster for my AR-15 rifle, so I can't figure out how to bring it out in public without looking like I'm going to do something bad because it should be in a holster.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my problem with the open carry law. They don't make a holster for the AR-15.
All right.
So maybe somebody can figure that out.
Yeah, there should be a demand for that. It should be $19.95, and if you order now, you get 2 of them.
Yeah, isn't it the Israeli Uzi, the little small automatic weapon the Secret Service carry under the jackets? You know.
It's been said if guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. The libs obviously disagree, and the left is usually so big on statistical data. However, they fail to present statistics that prove gun control is effective. I believe there are actual statistics that prove gun control attempts have been ineffective. You know what I'm talking about. God, we got to go back to Trump again. The problem isn't that Trump made a mistake about the hurricane. The problem is he can't admit he made a mistake. Instead, he couldn't let it go and spent days tweeting more lies. A leader who can't admit mistakes on little stuff is very dangerous when big stuff happens. Well, I'd have to say his predecessor certainly had pretty thin skin as well when it came to admitting mistakes, like the red line in Syria and wherever. all of those little things that he talked about. Let's see. Also, we've got Dorian hit Canada, Shane. Wow.
I know, Nova Scotia. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting analogy this week on Facebook in regards to this whole issue with gun laws, and there was something to the effect that, why don't we solve drunk driving by allowing drunk drivers to drive? Then everybody could drink and drive, and then
we'd be
at some
fine.
point,
yeah.
I mean, it's basically the same thing, right?
Well, and let's blame General Motors for the accidents. I mean, we'll just sue them. I mean, if they didn't have the cars, I mean, we can't sue the liquor company because, Constitution says liquor is legal. So, I don't know.
Right.
Jay, we got a caller waiting on the line, so if you could chat with them, we're going to have some Fox News, Montana State News, Brooke Foster weather, and Buffalo Restoration, Cashman Nursery, and several other things. So hang on. We'll be right back after the news at the bottom of the hour. All right, it's Monday, September 9th, 2019, 51 degrees outside, 24 minutes for the top of the hour. We've had a caller patiently waiting through the break. And caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, it's Gay, and I almost forgot what I wanted to talk about. I get talking to Shane, and I lose all track of where I was.
Think of my pain.
She's got a quote that could go viral. Let her have it.
Go for it.
Well, there's two things I want to say. I watched the spaghetti model that Trump's talking about because my son lives in Panama City, Florida, and I thought when I saw the thing going up past Panama and up to Georgia, I thought, oh my God, my son just got his house put back together.
Yeah.
And it's going to blow apart again. Now, my second point is, if you don't follow God or Muhammad's law, then why would you follow a government's law?
Well, that's true.
And I'm talking about killing people.
Yeah.
One of the commands is, thou shalt not kill. Well, they don't follow that one, do they?
No, we don't. No.
So there you go. Right. I'm done ranting, but I saw the spaghetti model that went up there because, like I said, I was interested because I knew somebody that lived there, where most of the people saw it and just didn't care because it wasn't them.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's because we're such a kind and sweet society.
We are.
Have a good day.
Well, and we were talking about the size of this hurricane. Even though it hugged Florida and went up the coast, Tom, the outer bands of that hurricane, when it first went up the coast of Florida, stretched clear across Florida into the Gulf. I mean, it was that big.
Mm-hmm. It was big, that's for sure. All right, let's see. From our text line, more Trump stuff.
I love it.
To announce that there must be no criticism of the president, and I don't think anybody announced there should be no criticism of the president, or that we should stand by the president right or wrong, and I don't think anybody has said that, is not only unpatriotic, and so is your defense of Trump taking a Sharpie to fake a weather map to defend his lies and say, what about Obama? Yes, Obama was bad. I thought we wanted better. We wanted a thick-skinned president of the United States who told the truth. Instead, we have baby Trump who can't take criticism or admit he made a mistake. If you can't see the danger in that, we are doomed. Criticizing Trump won't give libs a win. Well,
I got to tell you this. This to me, Tom, this story with the Sharpie, it's like a woman divorcing her husband because he blows his nose in the shower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, give me a break.
What happens to a child that never gets corrected for their mistakes? What happens to a president who doesn't? Well, they're not elected, I guess. But
that's correct.
Good luck when you're up against the 10 stooges that they put up. Boy.
Well, you know what happens to congressmen representing Chicago, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York with all the murders every day and every weekend, and they continually get reelected.
Yeah, that's true. Well, 86% of incumbents go back. So there you are. Was that last caller Roseanne Barr? Roseanne Barr calls into your show. Spaghetti model was 3 days old. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of people think that's Roseanne Barr. So I don't know what to tell you. You think we are going to abandon the heroin poppy business to the Taliban? Ha! Obama lies. You can keep your doctor and premiums will go down by 25%. And let's call a spade a spade. The problem is that Trump won in 2016, and my derriere still hurts. So, well, I think that's your fault if you can't see the benefits of that over what Hillary would have done. Jeez, I can't even think of that. You'd still be paying 35% corporate taxes. You wouldn't have a tax cut. You wouldn't have the thing in Jerusalem. You wouldn't have deregulations.
You wouldn't be independent of oil and gas and not need to buy it anywhere.
And you wouldn't have a glowing stock market that is again approaching 28 or 27,000. So,
and you wouldn't have the lowest unemployment rate in history, because for 50 years. All economists have said at 3%, you're fully employed.
Yeah, because you got people between jobs and whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have seen that either. And which is sad, because, what's happening in your country is just fabulous. It's like a golden age all of a sudden.
That it is. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Shane, we got a caller waiting, so take it away. 16 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Monday, September 9th, 2019, and we've got a caller waiting on the line. Let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, just wanted to reiterate about a statement that Nancy Pelosi made back in the day that drilling more oil wells isn't going to reduce the price in the fuel, and look at where we are now, and especially with the fracking. Mm-hmm. So if they don't understand supply side economics, kind of the same thing with their gun control thing. They never bring up Switzerland, and they have more weapons in Switzerland in the populace than the United States as far as percentage, and they're automatic weapons, and they're HKs. But they never want to bring that up because it thwarts their little dynamics and their percentages. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. Well, they've got to justify their existence. That's that's the problem. They got to pass laws.
Yeah, well,
that's why we're here. We got to pass laws to control the population, control the people. We got to stop you from being who you are.
Well, how many felonies does the average American commit a day without ever knowing about it?
Oh,
yeah. And ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We have so few laws. It's easy to keep track of them all.
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like doing your own income tax.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. Don't even go there and do that. Don't even try to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Let's see. From our text line just won't stop, Shane.
That's good. Mondays are like this, Tommy.
Mondays can't get like this, yeah. Google's Get Out the Vote text didn't work. Well, I don't know that they had a Google text to get out the vote. There was a testimony that if Google wanted to do that, they could send it only to Democrats, and it would affect the election, they felt. Democrats stayed home. The reason Democrats stayed home is because, like me, they didn't think there was any way on God's green earth that Donald Trump would be the president of the United States. I mean, nobody, even on election night, every poll had him down 10 points. Come on. Russians weren't doing anything to elect Trump. I wonder if the Russians posted thousands of anti-Trump memes on Facebook and he lost. Would you still say they have no impact on the votes? Well, I don't think, well, for one thing, they're not going to convince Democrats to switch over and vote Republican or vice versa. I mean, if you're in that park, you're there. Even the independents lean left or right.
Correct.
I mean, independents aren't unbiased.
That's right. Every decision in your electoral is the independents and undecided. That's who makes up the decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Child in Chief thought inviting the Taliban to meet on the anniversary of 9/11 was a good idea. I'm sure they can be trusted like North Korea's Kim. Well, we talked about that earlier. No way I would trust the Taliban or Kim or the Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
What if Obama had been subjected to the unrelenting daily attacks that Trump has had to endure? Would Obama have been able to handle the political pressures even as well as Trump has? Of course, this would never have happened to Obama because anyone who would have attacked him the same as the left attacks Trump would have been immediately labeled a racist.
Well, no one's above the law, as the Democrats said in your country, including presidents, even after they leave office. So let's see what this Pfizer report says. And did Obama know or not? Wow, that's going to be interesting.
Well, it will be. I don't think anybody's going to jail. I still don't believe that they're going to go after Obama, and I don't believe they're going after Hillary, and I don't believe they might go after Brenner and Clapper and Comey or some of those, or Rosenstein or whoever. But I don't know. Anyway, Democrats stayed home because they thought she didn't need their vote, and Comey's letter ticked them off. She was so bad. Well, yeah, you would have think Comey's letter might have done more than the Russians did, but...
Well, apparently it did. Trump got elected.
Political ads are targeted to independents, and Russians targeted them as well. Well, why don't you give me the link to the site that says that, and I'll be happy to look at it. So if you know where the Russians put their ads and who they targeted and how they determined, I've run ads on Facebook, and they don't separate them by political party.
Well, the amazing thing about Comey's letter about Hillary before the election, like a week before or whatever it was, is, he didn't mention that the FBI had a counterintelligence, investigation against the president at the same time. Like, They didn't even bring it up. That's what's so weird about the whole thing.
Yeah. Obama wouldn't give Republicans the material to attack him like Trump does. If Trump would shut up and put down the Twitter, the media would have nothing to attack him with, and that would be true, But he wouldn't reach the people. But he wouldn't reach the people.
He wouldn't reach the people, and he wouldn't be controlling the news cycle, and he's doing it brilliantly.
Yeah, that's true. He's always controlled the news cycle, and that's what you have to do. As long as you're talking about me, whether I'm lying or not, you're talking about me.
Like my granny said, doesn't matter whether people say something nice about you or say something bad, as long as they're talking about you.
As long as they're talking about you, that's the goal. And you're at the forefront. So
there you go.
The previous president avoided the press like the plague. All right, we got to get the Rush update in here, Shane. So hang on, and we'll be right back. Here's Rush. 4 minutes before the top of the hour, it's Monday, September the 9th, and it is 2019, the year of our Lord. It is 50 degrees outside. And from our text line, Mueller report documents how the Russians did it. Read the Mueller report. It's all in there, well documented, how methodical the Russians were, and that they clearly wanted Trump. Doesn't matter if it's true, just control the news cycle. Well, my only rebuttal to that is that every social media platform that I'm aware of is run by socialist media or socialist believers. And if they would allow anything that would benefit Trump on their sites, that would be a real stretch in the imagination. That if you think Zuckerberg or the head guy at Twitter or any of these other guys are gonna allow anything on there that's gonna benefit Trump in the election, I've got a bridge I want to sell you. So.
Not a big one.
Not a big bridge. It's just a little bit. Trump tweets too much, and some of it is not necessary. However, anyone who thinks the attacks on Trump would stop if he doesn't tweet is delusional, and I would have to agree with that. But as we said, he does control the news cycle with the tweets. Everybody talks about him. Everybody has him up. Whether they're lies or not, they're talking about him one way or the other. So,
and first president in history that stands in front of the press every time he leaves the White House to get on air on Marine One, and will take any question they ask him, anyone.
Yep. He will always go over and talk to the media, and something Obama would never ever do. In fact, Bush didn't even do it all that much as well. Right. So, yeah, that's where we are. So. He's still the president, guys, whether you like it or not. You know, whether he lies, whether the Russians got him elected, it doesn't matter. He's the president, and and they're not going to impeach him, and that's just not going to happen. I mean, they can certainly try, but that ain't going to happen at all. And the more the Democrats talk, the more they implode on each other. You know, if you want to pay for health care for illegal immigrants, then or illegal aliens, I'm sorry, they're not immigrants, they're just alien folks that, whatever. And if you want to pay for them, their health care, then by all means, vote Democrat. Go for it. Go. Help yourself. Okay. If you want higher taxes, go for it.
That's right.
Whatever.
Trillions and trillions of dollars spent.
It's easy. Just hit the D. That's all you got to do. Say goodbye, Shane.
Goodbye, man. Always a pleasure. Look forward to tomorrow morning when we talk again. Everyone be happy, be safe, and God bless.
All right. That does it for us. Thanks, everybody. Boy, morning went fast. It was a quick morning, so we appreciate that very much. Thanks for all the calls, and thanks for the text. Hey, don't forget, if you want J.O. and House tickets, all you have to do is go to our app chat and text the word Tiger to us, Tiger. Text the word Tiger to us, and we'll announce the winner, or we'll call the winner later on today as we accumulate the votes. So by all means, get over there to our AM 1450 KMMS app chat and vote. We'll see everybody tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.